Hi, guys. Welcome to the Get It Done podcast with Erin. The podcast where I talk to business owners about their business, allowing them to share their story and um, informing us of how they got to where they are now at the moment when we talk. The idea from the podcast came from me being um, able to talk to so many people. Me being an esthetician, I talk to a lot of people. I've given a lot of facials, and when people are, I guess, in the position, usually our hair lady, our nail lady, if we have that relationship with her, um, any of those intimate relationships that we have with the people that we come to often, um, we usually open up to them. So people open up to me, and we get to talking. I love talking about business. So somehow the conversation always leads to you should start a business, or at some point they see what I'm doing. They start asking me questions and they're like, well, I wish I could do this, but I'm scared. Or for whatever reason, they're not doing the thing because of fear. It all leads back to fear. So my hope, my prayer for this podcast is that it is inspiring to someone that is scared to do the thing, is just inspired by something that we say, something that they hear, or just seeing like, look at her, she's doing it. Like, I did not know what I was doing when I started this podcast. Um, God told me to do it. I got up and did it, and I figured it out whatever way it took. So here I am. um, on a platform talking to, most times I'm talking to strangers, but today, whatever time, wherever you are, I don't, this is the first time that I have a personal relationship with the person that I'm talking to. She is my first cousin. I spent a lot of time with them. I would go with them like during the summer. So she has a sister, but out of the two, I was always with her. I stayed in her room the whole entire time. I'm sure I got on her nerves. Once she started driving, I was always with her. So I was always closest to her, but she just logged on. I will add her to the stage and let her introduce her. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
So you're the first person that I've interviewed that I know personally. Well, except for one girl, but everybody else, they were complete strangers. Like, I have never talked to them before. So
Oh,
welcome.
wow. Well, thank you.
All right. Well, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your business.
So I am Myiesha Majors. I am Erin's cousin. I've known her since she was born. She's like 4 years
I'm a nice.
younger than me. I was so excited, to get a little cousin because I wasn't going to get no siblings. So she was kind of it. We grew up together and she didn't get on my nerves. She got to stay in my room. I loved it because I felt like I had a sibling for the summer. So I am Myiesha Majors, realtor here in Southern California. I am the CEO, I guess I could call it, of Majors for Homes. I have built my business over the last decade and still building it and still trying to be out here selling houses and making it happen. So I am excited that you offered to interview me and that you asked me to be a part of this. I'm so just proud of everything that I see you doing all the time. I'm like, you just blow my mind with everything that you're doing. So I am so super proud of you. So blessed to have you be a part of my family. And I'm just proud to be here.
It's in the blood.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, I know, like when I think about like the story of like our grandmother, because my mom and her dad are siblings. And when I think of just like the things that she accomplished versus what we are accomplishing, I'm just like, we're like, when they say my ancestors' wildest dreams, I'm like, this is like, I just wish they could just see just a touch of what we've done in our lives because I just think they would be like so tickled and so proud.
And then I don't know where we were or when did we even have that conversation, but you told me a little bit more about grandma and like who she was, or I knew who she was, but I just didn't know like she was a boss in her own right. Like as
Yeah.
far as her, like owning her own stuff and all these things, and I was just like, okay, but I
Like
know
in
that
the
she loved.
50s, having
Hmm?
her own home in the 1950s as a single mom, all of that was just like unheard of back then.
Yeah,
She like chartered her own course. She moved here from the East Coast, and she made it happen for herself and for her kids. And then she met our grandfather, and she ended up having your daddy, and just it's just a beautiful story of the resilience and what she went through and how she overcame, and she didn't give up. And so just thinking about that, I'm like, oh, I can't give up. Like I got to keep going.
what is one thing that you remember most about her? Like one great memory.
Uh, honestly, probably like sometimes her stubbornness,
Yeah, she was.
but also the love that she had for her family. Like she loved hard. She would do anything for us. I was her favorite. I think Tasha was her favorite. Then when I came along, I was her favorite. Then when you came along, you were her favorite. Like she just, yeah. But she loved all of us, and I think she loved hard. She gave a lot, and so those are some of the things that I really truly admired about her and remember about her. Like she would make me laugh because she would always say that she had Papa around her finger. She was like, he's wrapped around my pinky, and so I would like
That's
press
what we
that
want in
face.
our men.
Yeah, because no matter what, she made sure that he, did what she wanted. So it was
Yeah.
always like just cool to watch their relationship, even as they were older and she was sick. Just the love that they had for each other was beautiful.
Yeah, that was one thing that well, when I asked you the question, that's what came to my mind. Is the one thing that I do remember about her is that she loved me. Like,
Yes.
like she would go hard for my mama, on my dad. Like she was going hard on anybody that was like, no, give her what she wants. I'm like,
Yes.
okay. My grandparents have just spoiled me rotten, and I just, but that's one thing I remember about them.
I'm trying to
Um,
see if I can share this on my page.
what is it? Oh, the podcast. Um,
I never signed in the StreamYard until now, so we'll just
um,
keep it going. I'll share it from your page later if I can.
I'm about to send it to you, but okay. So, can you tell us about how you got started? Like, I know you've been in business for yourself, but I've never like had heard your. I mean, I know we're cousins and all that, but I've never like sat down and heard your business story.
So, okay. I got into real estate by way of before doing real estate, I used to work in banking. So, for about 15, 16 years, I worked in the banks when the market was crashing and going crazy. I ended up working in the banks, dealing with all the foreclosures, dealing with short sales. So, I used to negotiate the short sales on the bank's behalf.
Nice.
So even though I wasn't a realtor, it was like I was acting in a real estate capacity, so to speak, but just on the bank's behalf. And so that gave me a lot of not
Background.
only just knowledge about real estate, but it gave me a confidence of knowing, okay, I can do this. And so I had been laid off like a few times from different jobs, and I got tired of getting laid off. I had been laid off like a few times. Hold on, let me turn this off because I don't want to have the double noise. So I had been laid off. The last layoff that I had that happened right before my son was going to be born. And so at that time, my husband said, why don't you try real estate? Because I had taken the classes years ago, but I had just never went through to get the licensing. So probably like I would say in like '03, I think is when I took like 2003, like that long ago, is when I had taken the classes. Then got a job before I even finished the classes. Didn't worry about getting my real estate license. And I'm so glad that I did not do it then because I wouldn't be the realtor I am today. So
Because
after
what?
huh?
Why? Why not?
Because at that time, that's when the market just started going crazy. People were like starting to just buy houses like crazy, starting around probably like '04, '05. People just
Hmm.
start buying houses sight unseen. People were doing loans that just were not smart. And so had I been in real estate and didn't have the knowledge, I would have been part of that real estate era of just putting people in houses without having the appropriate knowledge of how to talk to them about, the smart financing and what they need to do to get into a home, and the things to be aware of. You had people who were just getting in over their head because you had banks who were like, your credit's good, we'll give you the house as long as you'll pay for it.
Yeah.
And they weren't doing smart loans. The reason that happened was because after 9/11 happened, the president at that time decided he wanted to stimulate the economy. His way of stimulating the economy, he wanted to put more people in homes. So there was no regulation on the banks, and the banks were just doing crazy kind of loans. They were giving regular homeowners the loans that they would give to investors who were flipping houses, who were buying houses and, selling them, buying houses and renting them out. And so the financing was not typical of a regular homeowner. So people were in these loans, and then they didn't understand, why is my loan balance increasing? Why is my payment increasing too? And they didn't understand that they were in what was basically called negative amortized loans. And so just that education alone helps me today, because so many people are still talking about when everything crashed in 2007, 2008, but that crash lasted a good like 3, 4, 5 years
And
before, like, once I got into real estate in 2014 is really when we really started to like really start coming out of that.
bouncing back.
And people were like, but people were so untrusting of the bank still. They were still so untrusting of the loan process because they felt like we got ripped off. So
So
to
you
have
can like
somebody
the
like me,
cleanup process.
yes. So to have somebody like me who I was like, I was in the trenches when this crap was going on, I can explain to you exactly what happened, how you got where you got, or how you're not going to get where those people were, because we're not doing loans like that anymore. So I feel like it makes me a better agent and makes me a better, it makes me better because I do a lot more research. And being an agent, I'm not like the person who handles the loan, but I have a good relationship with a lot of lenders. So I have a lot of the information that people need to help make sure that they're making the best decision. Like when I'm out showing properties to people, it's like, okay, you want to buy this property, but understand you're not just buying this property and having to worry about the mortgage. You got to worry about the upkeep of this property. Like there's a lot that goes into owning a home that people don't a lot of times think about. They just think about that payment.
Just something as simple as taking the trash cans out to sit them in front of the house. Like
Right.
you don't think
You
about
move
all
into
that.
a community that has an HOA. Now you got to do the lawn. Some of these HOA communities are like, you got 6 months to submit your plans for your backyard. And then the backyard needs to be done within your first year of being here. And we're coming back to check to make sure it's done.
And then
Like,
what they get fined if they
you can
don't.
get fined if it's not completed.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
So what if they don't have a plan? Like what if they're like, I want to keep it the same?
no, you are obligated. Like when you, like in a lot of these brand new communities, when you're buying these houses, that's part of your contract. That's
Oh
part of
wow.
the HOA like guidelines. And so you're agreeing to that when you're buying that house
Dang.
and saying, okay, I'm going to do A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Isn't
That's
that
a
crazy?
yes, that's crazy. That's like now I own it, but I still have to abide by your rules.
But I still gotta abide by your rules, which is good and bad. Like I've had both. My first home was not in an HOA community, so you just got people doing whatever they want. They want to paint their house pink, they paint it pink. They want to, not do their yard, they don't do their yard. You
Yeah,
live
it
in an
keeps
HOA,
order.
huh?
It keeps order.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
live in an HOA community, even though it can be annoying when they're sending you a letter saying, hey, you left your trash cans out for 2 days and they need to be put up the next day after trash collection. Like, at least when you're driving around the neighborhood, most people's homes are being taken care of. Most people are abiding by the rules that were set by the homeowners association. So your home holds its value a lot better and a lot easier because people will love to move into a community that's well managed, well maintained, well taken care of. So
So who manages that? Somebody that lives in the community? They just driving around looking at people's houses and stuff?
No, so HOA, when you live in a community that is attached to an HOA, there's an HOA company that takes care of collecting like the HOA fees and all of that. They have someone assigned to communities, and that person is like the community manager who drives around. And then there's people within the community who
Oh,
join like the board. And
yeah.
so they all come together
And start telling
collectively,
on everybody.
pretty much.
All right. What would you say to the girl that you were, the woman that you were, when you basically in the beginning of your business journey?
When I very first got into real estate, I would tell myself to be calm, don't get anxious. Don't be anxious for nothing. Like the scripture says, with everything, pray, give it to God, and trust that He is going to see you through. So I would tell myself that, because there was a lot of sleepless nights. There was a lot of days where I was like stressed. I'm having chest pains because I'm like get myself worked up over things that I have no control over.
The
So like you
pressure.
have to like fully rely on God all the time.
Yeah. Especially in business because we don't know. Like going to work and clocking in, we know, okay, I'm going to go in for this amount of hours. I'm going to leave and go home. And then after so many days, I'm going to get a check.
Yeah,
It's
getting
not like
paid.
that in this area.
No, you have to prove yourself every day. Every day you're self-employed until you get clients. Like
Yep.
that's just the life of an entrepreneur. A lot of people don't realize how challenging it is and how hard it is. They see all the, like I tell a lot of new realtors who want to get in the business and they're like, what do I do? You know, you don't look at my year 10 and compare it to your like 2 months in the business.
Period.
Like that's just not what it's going to be.
Yep.
Also, you know, you really have to understand that this is like they say, it's not a sprint, it's not a race, it's a marathon. Like
It really
it's
is.
going to take time. Like there's relationships that I build with clients for months, for years sometimes, before I even sell them anything, before they even buy it, before they sell a property, before they buy a property. Sometimes I'm dealing with them for months. It's been some clients, I just sold a house last year. I've been talking to those people for probably like 3 or 4 years
Dang.
about selling their house.
It seems so hard to sell houses. Like the thought of it is just like, what? You want me to sell a house? But I mean, in order to do that, I think that would take the ultimate salesperson, and a lot of patience, um, and a lot of knowledge. Like you have to know
Yes,
your stuff in that field, or in my mind, you would have to know your stuff. Um, so what are you most grateful for today?
my family, my family.
Yes, family is it. And what are you
Yes.
most proud of? What would you say to yourself right now? Or even, okay, so yourself today and then yourself in 10 years, looking back at who you are today and where you came from.
Um, well, I mean, I don't have like the story of, oh, I came from like, the streets. I came from,
No, not, I mean, like
from
the start of your She like, I'm not about that life.
I'm like, I came from, a decent life. But what I would say is I am
Oh my
so
goodness.
proud. It's hard for me sometimes to like sit back and just be proud of everything that I've accomplished. Um,
Why?
just because I always think I could do more. I'm like,
That's
I
how
could
I
go harder.
feel.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
I could
feel
do
that
more. I
way.
could go harder.
Yes. That's
Like
exactly how I feel. Like,
So
what am I
it's hard
proud of?
for me to be proud when I know I could have done better, or I know that I could have gone harder. But at the end of the day, when I stack myself up against other realtors, just like I just got, sent something recently saying, oh, you're in the top 500 realtors. You're one of the top 500 realtors in the IE, which is
Yeah.
huge. There's over 20,000 realtors out here just in the IE.
Dang, that's a lot.
And I'm in the top 500. So it's
Nice.
like things like that. I'm like super proud of myself for that. I'm
Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm super proud of knowing like I'm always within like the top 2 to 5% every year. of real estate agents in my area, and just like even in the state of California, the average realtor does not sell more than like 2 to 3 homes a year. I
Mm,
usually sell between 20 to 30 a year.
nice.
So that's a huge like accomplishment. But then you'll hear other people like, I sold 70. I'm like, how you sell 70 houses? Like I was barely like breathing trying to sell the 20 that I sold. But a lot of times it's because they have teams and they got different people working with them. And I do have a
Yeah.
team, but they don't, they're not producing at the same level that I'm producing. So if they did, then I would be able to say, oh, I closed 50 deals or, 60 deals, because, they collectively closed another 20 on top of my 20. So, you know, um, that's what I would say I'm proud of 10 years from now. I pray that God continues to bless my business, but I also pray that it's blessed in a way that I'm able to have it managed without me. Like, I think the ultimate is being able to have your business run whether you're there or not. And so I want to get to a point to where whether I'm, you know, in the Maldives, whether I'm in Ghana, whether I'm, in Jamaica, no matter what, things are being ran and I can actually enjoy my vacation without having to say, I got my phone, I got my laptop, I got all these things that I have to, keep
Do.
up with my business or it's going to die while I'm gone.
Yeah. Um, you mentioned something about the other agents in the area. So, how do you see, or what is your idea on competition?
I'm only competing with myself. I'm not trying to compete with nobody. I'm like, I got to run my own race. This is not, I believe if God brings you to it, He's created enough business and a space for you to be in this business. So I don't believe that I need to be competing with anybody. I'm like, there's enough business for all of us. We
Yeah.
all know people. We all are influential to people. We all have a reach that we have that we can reach other people who need our help, no matter what kind of business we have, whether it's real estate, whether it's being an esthetician, whether it's, being a beautician, whether it's, money management, whatever your business is, there's clients for everybody. There's enough for everybody. So I don't believe that I need to compete with anybody but myself.
I agree. I feel like what competition, because what you bring to the table and what I bring to the table are two separate things. Even if we were doing the same exact thing, we trained the same way, same place, all that. Um, you're you and I'm me. Like, so there is no
Exactly.
competition, and whoever's supposed to be with you gonna be with you, and whoever's supposed to be over here gonna be over here with me.
And
So I,
the thing that I tell agents all the time, especially new agents, and I had to learn this for myself because you have just in business period, I'm sure you've heard it too. Don't you get upset when somebody went to somebody else for the same service that you provide. And I remember the first couple times that stuff like that happened to me, I don't know that I would say I was upset. Maybe a little like, what did I do wrong? Is there something else that I could have done or said that would have had them come to me versus go to, this person over there or that person over there? And I felt like God just laid it on my heart. Like, I'm going to bring you the people I want you to help. And
yeah,
so once I developed that mindset and once I adopted that mindset that God gave to me and put on my heart, if you work with somebody else or you choose not to work with me, that's God protecting me from something or maybe even protecting you from something. I don't know what it may be, but God didn't want us to work together in this capacity for a reason, and that's okay. Because I may not be the agent for you, and that's okay with me. Like, it's gonna save me some heartache because
yeah.
maybe you would have been at any time like I feel like I try and like have tried to barge my way into something. I'm like, see, this wasn't
This ain't what it's supposed to be.
God warned me, but I wanted this one so bad because of the price point or because, oh, I could get other deals from this if I help this person. And it was just bad. So I'm always like, you know what? God, bring me the people who you want me to help. And And then when they come, even if they're difficult, I'm like, I know God sent them to me for a reason, so I'm not going to give up on them. Because you have agents who are like, this person getting on my nerves. I'm not showing them no more homes. I'm not going to help them. And I'm like, oh my God, like I got to see this through.
Yeah, so that is my prayer. That has been my prayer since day one. I remember having a client. Uh, it was like in the beginning, and I like really needed money, and I remember having a client that canceled the appointment right like before, and I'm like, I missed out on money.
Yeah.
And since then my prayer has always been, God, remove who is not supposed to be here, and whoever's supposed to be here, send them. And when people cancel appointments, when people don't show up, I just take that as God, even when they're late, like when they pass the mark, I take that a sign from God, like you wasn't supposed to be here.
Yeah, God protected me from something with this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, that's always how I feel. I'm like, if somebody, like, if something happened, that's God's protection.
Yes.
So,
So in addition to being a business owner, you are also a wife and a mommy. So how is how is it? Because for me, I'm just a single girl with no kids, so I can just jump up and do whatever at any time.
whatever you want when you want.
Yes. So for you, you have to like juggle and stay strict to a schedule. How is that? How has it been?
I mean, I'm telling you how successful I am still managing all of that. So, part of it though is when you are married to somebody and you decide I'm gonna go. Well, my husband's the one who basically was like, why don't you go into real estate?
He
Because
gave you the
his
idea.
idea was, you finna have this baby and you're not gonna want to go back to work. And I was like, I'm not gonna be no stay-at-home mom. And he was like, maybe not, but I don't think you're gonna want to go back to work as fast as you have to go to work. And I'm glad that he put that in my mind and that God laid that on his heart to have me like even do. So I was like, okay. So by the time Mason was maybe 3 months old, I had my license.
Okay.
I had got my real estate license. And so
So
he
you
was like,
were studying and testing while he was here once he was born?
before he was born, I started.
And then
And
so then
then
you tested and everything once he.
I tested everything after he was born.
Okay.
But I told, my husband told me, give it a year. Give it at least 1 year. If you don't like it, then go back to work.
Yeah. I
I
said
said,
I was giving
okay.
myself 10 years.
And so within the first year, I was able to do 10 transactions. And people were like, that's unheard of. Most people don't do any their first year as a realtor. And I was like, oh, so I'm like an anomaly. And I was like, okay, I have to see this through. Let me see how much more
Like,
I
I'm
can do.
on.
Huh?
You was like, I'm on.
Yeah, that. And then my other prayer was, Lord, if I can match my salary that I just basically walked away from, and I didn't really walk away, I got laid off, that I got laid off from, then I can make this happen. And so my first year, I think I got close enough to it. I maybe was like a couple thousand off from it. And I was like, okay, I can do this.
That's convincing enough.
Yeah, I was like, I can do this. And it's just gotten better and better each year to where I'm like doubling and tripling and quadrupling some years a salary that I was worried about matching now.
Yeah.
So having a supportive spouse is huge. If you don't have a support system, it's so much harder to do business.
Yeah, because he's like, you still working? Why you got to do this?
Yeah. So he already understands. When we go on vacation, he already knows I'm gonna have my phone, I have my computer. I may have to write an offer before we can go out and go on this tour. I may have to, take a couple calls while we're like, what was it? Not last year, but the year before. We were in New York. I was literally in the Empire State Building taking calls. Client had called. I was like, hold on. I stepped away. Him and Mason are listening to the tour guide. I'm like, I've been here before. This ain't my first time in New York.
I don't miss nothing.
Yeah, this is for Mason more than it was for us. So I was like, let me step away, take this call. Like literally, I had 2 clients that I came back to and listed their properties the week that I came back from vacation in New York.
Because you took those calls.
Because I took those calls.
Right.
So having that support is huge. So he's my partner. He like, if I can't make it because I'm showing a property, he's going to pick Mason up from school. If I, can't make it to Mason's track meet, he's going to go. If I can't, so he's always my backup. Like he's never like we're true like partnership when it comes to raising our child and taking care of like business. So I don't have anybody side eyeing me like, what you mean you're not cooking dinner tonight? What you mean? So that makes a huge difference. And then Mason, he's been in this since he was born, so he don't know no different. So
Yeah,
he
like
just
that's just
knows
what mommy
mom
does.
runs a business, huh?
Yeah. I said he's just like, that's just what mommy does.
But what he loves about it, and what I would say what I love about it is because I run a business and I can set my own hours, I can go volunteer at his school if I need, if he, you know, if they have something. I can be a part of the PTA. I can be a part of, you know, whatever is going on at the school. And that helps my business because when I go, I wear my t-shirts that says realtor, that says something about my business on it. And then people start asking you questions and, you know, there it goes. So
I seen a video of I don't know if it was Instagram or TikTok or I don't know what I was on, but it was she was an agent and she said that I don't know if she had kids or not, but whatever little like PTA meetings and like stuff that the school would have, she would yeah, well she said she went to multiple schools and she said that she would donate all the water. So the waters that she donated, you know, the wrapper around the water, she did her.
Yeah, I've done donations at the schools before and I put my business, you know, logos and everything on it.
Yeah, I was like, that is such a good idea. Like, how smart of her.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I haven't done the whole water thing, but I've had like a couple, like the high schools in the area where I send them money and then they put me on their marquee during like football
Nice.
games and stuff like that. So, yeah.
How do you feel about social media? How important is it in business? Your opinion. I say
For
your.
my business, it's extremely important. For my personal business, it's not that important. Like I
Oh
don't
no.
need my personal business on there. But for my real estate business, it is extremely important. I think as business owners, that's almost like your business card now.
It
It's like
really is.
instead of me having a website, if I have a social media presence, people will be able to look me up, see what I'm talking about, see what I'm posting, see that, okay, she actually is a realtor doing some business. So I think that social media is important. And not only is it important, it's free.
It's free.
Why not use the freest source out there to get to as many people as possible? And when I
Yep.
first started, like in this business, everybody was like knocking on doors, doing cold calling. I was like, I'm not gonna
Like
do
that's a
that.
lot of work. What
Yeah,
y'all
and at first, like I'll be honest, I tried the knock on door thing,
doing?
and then
It's
after
hot
like
out there.
yeah,
It's either hot or super cold.
and I was going all dressed up, hot, knocking on doors, got comps for people's house so I could tell them how much their house would sell for. I'm doing the whole nine, knocking on their door. This is before, you know, the Ring cameras were huge. You have people opening their doors like, get off my doorstep. Who are
Oh
you?
my god,
And
I
I
hate
was
when
like,
people come to
oh, okay. So after a couple people told me that, I was like, maybe this ain't for me. I don't need nobody calling police on
Could
me.
you imagine me getting in the? I mean, I would just be in the car with you, but I can imagine you getting back and forth in the car, like what they say. I'd be sitting in the passenger seat laughing at
me.
Hilarious.
So then I tried cold calling, and most of the numbers are either do not call or it's businesses. So it's not people's homes. So I started doing research on YouTube, and there were realtors talking about you need to go on social media. It's free. Post this, post that. And I was like, oh, I can do that. I'm sitting here with this baby at 2 a.m. He ain't sleep. Let me go ahead and start posting this stuff. So that's just what I started doing, and it really paid off. But so many people were like, that's not gonna work. You can't do that. And I was like, it's free. I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna try at least. See
yeah, because so many of them are like mailing stuff out. They're spending like $300-400 a month to mail stuff out. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
And most people just throw that stuff in the trash can.
And that's literally, I was like, what do I do with that stuff? I throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ask people who I know first. Hey, do you know a good realtor? Before I go and just call somebody on a card that they mailed to my mailbox.
Yeah.
So yeah, social media is definitely especially like important.
It was a girl today. I thought it was I have packages coming all the time, so I thought it was a package delivery person.
Yeah.
So I heard someone say, I didn't know what she said, but I heard somebody yelling through the door, and I had the door open, so she's yelling through the screen. So I get up and she's holding her little clipboard, and I walk to the door and I was like, "Hi." She's like, "Hi." I was like, "No, thank you." And I closed the door and I walked away. Like, I just don't like when people come to the for me, because I've seen so many like social media crazy stuff happening. So like, even when the UPS guy
I'm
comes,
like,
like,
don't
I
come to
tell
my
him,
door. Just leave it and I'll get it after you go.
yep, because I have a bench on the porch. So I just be like, you could just put it on the porch. Like, I've seen crazy stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
girl,
for it.
we all have.
Like, get off of my porch.
Yeah. Even if I do like a DoorDash or something, I
Mm-hmm.
always, or Instacart, my
Yep.
directions are always leave it at my door.
Yep. Or even if
Yeah.
I walk to the door, because sometimes they'll knock and wait till I come to the door, even after I say leave it on the bench. So I walk to the door and I'll just be like, you could put it on the bench. Like,
Yep.
you're not about to snatch my little cute little self up for this
You're not
burger.
coming in my house.
I don't want this food that bad.
Right. Yeah, you have to be very careful. I think, having the Ring doorbells and all these doorbell cameras have been so helpful because, yeah, I don't open my door usually. And
Mm-mm.
even if I'm not home, I like the fact that I can talk to somebody at my door and tell
Yep.
them, no, thank
Like,
you.
what are you doing there? What do
Yeah.
you need? Yeah. Um, so can you share some advice that a person that is just scared to start whatever it is that they want to start, because of whatever fear that they're dealing with, can you share some advice to help them get on their journey?
Um, so I saw something today, and I can't directly quote it because I can't remember all the verbiage, but it was basically saying entrepreneurs do a little bit of research and then they just get out there and do it. People who are non-entrepreneurs got to research forever and they overthink everything and they never get started. So if you were somebody thinking about starting a business, I don't care how big or how small you think it is, you got to get started somewhere. Somebody asked me the other day, like, if you were to give yourself the advice on how to start your business that you started today, like, what would you tell them? And I was like, man, like, all the different things that I've done, like, it's been crazy. I'm like, I've tried so many things. I've wasted a lot of money. I've wasted a lot of time, stuff that didn't work, trying to, get clients, trying to get more business. And that's part of the process. That's part of the story. Like, that's part of who you are. You're going to fail at stuff. You're going to waste money. You're going to mess shit up. It's just part of the process.
For real.
And every time you're going to learn from it. So you always have to look at, what am I learning from this, and keep it moving. You
Yep.
can't focus on, like, if you start dwelling on, dang, I just wasted $2,000, or dang, I just spent, and I'm gonna be completely honest, there's been times where I've been like, I probably spent $10,000 on this thing and it did not even pay off.
Yeah.
I didn't even get my money back from what I paid into this thing. And like, if you get yourself so focused on that, you'll never accomplish. Like, you have to just keep going, keep pushing forward, keep trusting God. Look at it as as a lesson. So if you're out there and you're thinking about getting started, get started. Don't continue to wait. If you need to talk to people who can help you, do that. But don't let you doing that stop you from what you planned on doing. Don't let that stop you from getting to the next step, getting to the next level. Do it scared, is what I tell everybody all the time. Like, people are like, well, I don't know this, I don't know that. I'm like, I'm going to do it even if I'm scared to do it.
Yep.
Because on the other end of it, you end up like, I'm like, on the other
You learn
end,
how to do it in the process.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, so that's why, do it scared if that's what it takes.
That's your word.
Yep.
Okay, so I have recently, and I said I'm just about to start asking y'all. So I recently, because I was gonna start, or I'm planning on starting a newsletter.
Oh, good. I do a newsletter.
See, you can help. So my thing is, when I pulled the, because what I did is I had a list of emails already, but I put all of the emails from my booking site So combined, all of my emails, I have 3,500 emails.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I was surprised. But what can I do with those? Like, I'm like, okay, I have all
You
this.
you need to send a monthly or a weekly newsletter. I do a bi-weekly newsletter. So I send a newsletter every 2 weeks
Okay.
out to all of the emails that I get. Anybody in, I have probably, I would say close to, I'm sure I have over 3,000, but I probably have a little under 5,000 emails. So unless they unsubscribe, they're getting a newsletter from me.
Yeah. And that's what I
And
said. I was like, if they unsubscribe, that helps because
yeah.
then you're out.
So I send those out. Like I was sending them monthly. Now I do them like every 2 weeks. And it's not all about real estate. It is about like what's going on in the community, like, self-help stuff, mental health stuff, um, gardening, like whatever is going on in the season.
Right.
Um,
I need to
how
sign up.
to spruce up your curb appeal, things like that. So it's always something that's going to be helpful. And then I may put like, my listings in there, or put the link if you want to get like the value of your home, click on this link. But other than that, I make it more about the community and things like that, more so than I'm making it about my business.
Nice. Um, a little bit back to family, because I meant to ask you this earlier, but who in your mind would you want Mason to grow up to be?
Who would I want him to grow up to be?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. You mean like,
Like as a man, what?
I want him to grow up to be, of course, a godly man. I want him to grow up to do whatever he wants to do. Like I'm constantly telling him, like anything, because my child is, because of the life that I've provided him so far. He thinks that
He's comfortable.
he wants to be rich, and I'm like, we're not rich, and he's like, but I want to be rich. And so
Period.
I told him, and he's like, what can I do so I can be rich? And I said, you can do almost anything you want.
He could start now.
Yeah, I said you can do almost anything you want. It's just you have to do it. You have to do it well. You have to believe in yourself. So I'm always speaking like affirmations to him, trying to speak positivity to him and tell him he can do anything he wants. What I want for him is for him to have the life that he wants. I want him to be to have, financial comfort, financial stability. I want him to have, a spouse, or partners, or whatever he has. I want them to be people who support him. I want it to be somebody who loves him, more than anything. I want him to experience all the good things that there are in life. So, that's my prayer for him. I trust that God is going to grow him up into a very, an inspirational young man. I tell him all the time, like, I would love for him to grow up and be somebody who changes the world, does something like influential in the world. But all I ask is that he does what makes him happy, honestly.
Yeah. And that's what you can tell him. Like, find what you love. Like when he said, what can I do? Just find what you love and
Oh
figure out
yeah.
a way to make money. What
He's
does he
like,
like to do?
well, he really likes monster trucks.
Okay. I remember when we went to dinner that time. That's
Yep.
what we talked about.
We still go to Monster Jam. So he loves monster trucks. He loves he's very creative. He likes art, he likes to draw, he likes to paint.
Nice.
He likes to make puppets and play with puppets still. He's almost 10.
Oh, I remember
But
that.
he still like loves to do stuff like that. That's just like his thing. So
He's creative.
he's very creative. Like he'll make these little videos and I'm like, you made that? And he's like moving the little piece like every like, couple like minute inches. And then you'll watch it and I'm like, you did this whole thing on your own? He's like videoing it and everything. He's like, I did that on my own. So
Nice.
yeah, he's super creative. So, he says he wants to be a doctor because he thinks he's going to make money being a doctor.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, he likes
Doctors don't make that much money. They gotta
not as much as
a
people
lot
think.
of time in school and they don't make that much money.
And they got a whole lot of, unless they, got a rich auntie who's paying off their debt. They got a lot of debt from loans. But yeah, I don't think he really knows what he wants to do. I just think he wants money.
That'll come. That'll come with whatever he does. If he
Yeah.
loves it, you have to love it. Beach days or rainy days in the house.
You said beach days or rainy days?
In the house. You pick.
Out of the three, or you said?
Be a day at the beach or a rainy day in the house.
Oh, shoot, I'll probably take a rainy day in the house any day. But I do love the beach. I don't like to get in the water. I just like this, the serenity and the calmness of the beach. Like I just like just sitting there and just like it's just like you can just think and breathe and everything. Yep. But I mean, I'll do both. But if I had my druthers, I would probably say the beach.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you 5 words. Well, I'm gonna give 1 word, and then whatever word you say, I mean, according to my word, the first thing that comes to your mind, you say, and then we'll go back and forth for 5 words.
Okay.
Love.
Family.
Commitment.
Commitment.
So you thinking about it too hard.
I know. Commitment. I was gonna say love again, but I'm just like you already said love. Commitment. Just business.
Enjoyment.
Ooh. Enjoyment. I think too hard. Enjoyment.
I kind of do this on all the podcasts, so I've gotten better. My goal is to like
pop it up. You're like,
yes.
Was that the 4th word or the 5th word? Enjoyment?
That was the 3rd word.
That was okay. So we have to do like
2 more words.
Rounds, 5 rounds.
Yes.
Okay, so enjoyment, excitement.
Work.
Life balance.
Or not. So how do you feel about work-life balance? I was talking about this earlier.
I think it's different for everybody. I think for so long, so many people use that word at jobs, and I want work-life balance. I want a job that gives me work-life balance, but the balance is what you create your own family and your own household. So I think it's different for everybody. Like for me, work-life balance really is making sure that I am charting out time for, myself, for my husband, for my son. For me, like with him, it's like I've always kind of ran my business. Like I drop him off at school at 8 in the morning. I'm running my business and doing things until about, 3 o'clock when it's time to go pick him up. Now he stays at after school. So usually around like 4:30, like I got to cut it off. And then if I do anything after that, it's always in the house. Like I'm not going to be out showing houses. I'm not going to be out, doing all this stuff. Everything that I do after that has to be in the house. But I usually try to be done by a certain hour because I'm like, I got to cook dinner and spend time with my guys. So for me, that's my balance.
I love that. At some point, I'm gonna have a guy to spend time with. So as of now, work-life balance for me is, well, in my mind, there is no work. Like I don't even believe in it really. I think the balance is, and this is a rule that I took on for myself when I quit my job, is to only do work that I absolutely love. And that helps me maintain the balance. Like that is the balance, because if I'm doing stuff I don't want to do, it's a little unbalanced. So with doing that, work is like, it doesn't feel like work at all. Like nothing that I do, giving facials is very relaxing. And now this, like I'm talking to people, I'm just having conversations with people. So the only probably juggle, and it's not really a juggle, is the schedule. Like I have to like stick to my schedule. But other than that, like as long as I'm enjoying what I do, it really feels just like this is just life. Like the work part isn't there. So I am grateful for that. I thank God for that. I thank God all the time, every day for my work. I am extremely grateful for it. I can't say that. So what is next? What is next for the business?
So for me, next for my business is, so I moved brokerages. Then I joined EXP Realty. The reason I joined is because they offer a lot more to us as realtors. And so, what's next for me is to build basically what we call like a rev share team. And that money will help basically me be able to retire in real estate. So, my goal is to um, do more events, bring on more agents from other brokerages, and explain to them like this is what this opportunity does. If you are willing to listen and if you're willing to work, you will too be able to do this. The thing about it is not only do they have revenue share? Revenue share is basically they're sharing revenue for with you because you're bringing agents to their company. You're bringing agents to their brokerage, and they're sharing the revenue from those agents that you've brought whenever those agents do business.
Mm,
So you'll get that shared money each time that agent is doing business, and then
nice.
whoever that agent brings on, and it just trickles down.
So over long term, that's
So
long.
So it's long term. Also, they give us stock. So I put money in stock each time I close a transaction, which is
Nice.
huge. No other company has ever had that as far as a brokerage is concerned. Real estate is very much about paying the broker and making the broker rich
Mm,
and not pouring money back into their agents. So there's agents within our organization who literally have bought homes, put their kids through college and everything else through this stock and this revenue share. You got people making crazy money
nice.
and not even having to worry about if they have real estate deals closing. So my goal is to build those things out. So I've already started building my stock, which I'm proud of. And my goal is to build a rev share team over the course of the next, few years and get myself to where I have a decent enough passive income where I feel financially secure.
Do you have a retirement year, or are you just gonna go until you're like, okay, all right, I'm done?
And see, that's the thing with real estate. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of realtors, they just keep working, 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 and there's no plan. This
Right.
allows me to have a plan. So, if in the next like 10 years I could say I'm retiring, I would be like so happy.
Yeah. And 10 years go by so fast.
And
Like,
10 years go by fast. Mason's already
mhm.
10, and I swear he was just born. So it goes by quick. Like, I feel like I'm like, didn't I just start this business? But it's been 10 years almost. So yeah, 10 years will go quick. So that's, I would love to hang it up and say, okay, I'm not going to be so focused on selling real estate. I can like refer clients, refer people to other agents, and I still get paid off of
Nice. I love that. I love that for you. I'm super excited about what is to come for you and your family, everybody, your husband and your baby. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been
it. Of course,
a
this is
fun
so fun.
deal. So how can people find you? Is there anything else that you like to share?
So people can find me. My website is so you see Majors for Homes. My website is www.majorsforhomes.com. You can find me there. My phone number 951-990-3833. If you are looking to purchase a home, if you're looking to sell a home, you just want comps for your home and you want to know how much equity you may have. You need help whether somebody is in probate because that's a huge thing. People pass away, they don't have their affairs in order, and now they have to go through probate. So if you need a realtor who knows a lot about things. I can't say that I know everything, but I will find it out for you if I don't know it. But somebody who has been in this business, I work well with a lot of military families. I'm certified as a realtor who work with military people or VA clients. I'm certified as a relocation specialist. So if you're relocating from California or out of California, I'm here to help you with that and just any other real estate needs that you have. That's what I'm here for. So if you want to reach me, you can, Erin will get you in contact with me. Or if you take my information down, you can take it down and I'm here to always help.
Thank you.
I'm like, anything else I need to give? Anything else I need to say?
Your social media, how can they find you on social media?
Social media is just my first name and last name, Myiesha Majors, on Facebook. And On Instagram, it's Realtor Myiesha Majors. So that's how you can find me. I also do a TV show. I'm a TV host for American Dream TV. So
Period.
you can stream my show from my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is also my first and last name, Myiesha Majors. You can find me. Um, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube so you can find me. And what I'm doing on my TV show is basically just showcasing. I'm not just showcasing like real estate because I do that all day. I show homes, I look at homes, I sell homes all day. I'm really showing the community and what the community has to offer. And my goal is to showcase a lot of small businesses in the community and help bring awareness to them. Like my second episode that I did, I just got something showing that it's hit like over 1 million views on Facebook through the American Dream TV network. So that's cool because that business is going to see an uptick in their business because of that show. The first episode I did was at Padua Pasta Makers in Upland. And anytime I go in there, they're like, oh my God, we've been so busy since you featured our restaurant on your show. So
Nice.
it works.
I love it. I love it. I love that for you. You have the perfect personality for it. You have the perfect tone of voice and everything. So I'm so excited for, like I said, everything that I'm so very proud of you. Although I know I'm the baby cousin, but I am very proud of you and the work that you are doing and showing up not only for your family and your child, but for yourself. Like it takes a lot for us to get up and like get to it and consistently. So you, like you said, you've been in the game for 10 years and that is huge. So I'm super proud of you, ma'am.
I'm proud of you too. Thank you so much. And thank you for featuring me on your show, on your podcast. And I just pray that God continues to pour out so many blessings for you, your business, your podcast will grow, and just everything you touch will continue to grow and flourish. And I just know that, I see the blessings of God all over you, and I know He's going to continue to do it for you. So
thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
Amen, amen, amen.
Oh, you're getting it done.
Wait, so
what happened to the first name? I thought it was.
I was just about to tell you, it used to be called Get Shit Done Podcast, but I recently stopped cussing. I'm gonna say I stopped. So I'm really working on it. So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta change the name.
Take that off.
Yes.
Okay. So, good.
Yes. See, change.
That's still something I'm working on.
But for me, I had a potty mouth. Like it was bad. So I'm just like, okay, I have to stop cussing because I still have my slip ups. I'm still working on it, but I'm better.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was like, she took that off. I was like, somebody must have said something. She felt convicted.
No, it was me. It was God, really. He was like, if this is what you're gonna do, then you got to do it all the way. So I'm like, all right.
Well, good. Thank you again so much, and have a blessed rest of your week and blessings to your business. I gotta still put in another order because when you told me you weren't mailing stuff no more, I was like,
girl, I was so over.
I was like, what about me?
And you could have just called or text or something. I would have sent you stuff. I was just over it.
But I understand. I'm like, sometimes you just like, I gotta take a break.
Yep. And that's what happened because I started missing it. And then I'm just like, okay, well, let me get back on it. So now I still have my days where I'm like, but it's not how it was when I was like, you know what? I'm done with it. I'm over it. I'm not doing this. So I'm better. But again, thank you so much. And you guys have a good night. Tell everybody I said hi and I love them so very much.
We love you so very much too.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Oh. And that was episode 16 already. 16 episodes. I am enjoying this process, enjoying talking to people. Tonight I got to talk to my cousin. This was the first time, like I said earlier, the first time that I've had anyone on that I know personally. I'm gonna have another cousin in business. I'm gonna try to hit her up, and she's not very open to stuff like this. She get nervous, but I'm gonna see if I can get her on. Yeah, so I said I was going to do word of the day at the end of each episode. So today's word of the day would be to find what you love and do that. Like, I guess this will be my word to Mason, because she said he asked, well, what can I do? And I know a lot of people that are trying to figure out what they can or should do in business. And my word would be to find what you love and figure out a way to make money doing it. And I know that's you hear that all the time when it comes to like business ideas and stuff. But it really is like the truth. And I was telling her about me just being absolutely in love with my work and everything that I do. It really does not feel like work. Nothing that I'm doing feels like work. I mean, I can't even think of uh, other than deadlines, that feels like work to me. But outside of that, like, my work is easy and I enjoy it. And that has also been my prayer to God, that He makes all of this easy for me, so that I continue to enjoy it, so that I can continue to do it um, gracefully and peacefully. But the word of the day is find what you love to do and do that. Don't forget to thank God for your blessings. Don't forget to say your prayers. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, share. And if you are a business owner in business and you'd like to share your story, I would love to have you on. So message me on whatever platform this is, and we can get you. Send you the link to sign up, and we'll get you on here. Like, I want to hear your story too. I will be back. I think I have someone scheduled tomorrow, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.